Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to break down one of the most powerful AI coding tools out there today, Claude Code. We're going to get into what it is, exactly how it works, and, most importantly, why it is completely changing the game for developers. You know, for a while now, a lot of people have looked at AI coding assistants and kind of thought, yeah, it's just fancy autocomplete. You know, it suggests the next line of code and that's cool, but that's about it. But what if a tool could do more than just suggest? What if it could actually do the work for you?
And that question brings us right to our first section. We really need to understand what makes Claude Code so fundamentally different from the tools you might already be using. It all comes down to this idea of an agentic leap.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you have the AI chat tool we're all familiar with. It's basically a suggestion engine. It's passive. But then, on the other side, you have the AI agent. This is a whole different beast. It's an active collaborator that actually lives inside your project and has the power to take real actions.
So, the key concept here, the magic word, is agentic. What does it mean? It means the AI has agency. It has the ability to act directly on your project. It's not just spitting out text. As you can see here, it's reading your files, running your test suite, and even committing code, all while you're there supervising the whole thing.
So how does an agent like this actually work? I mean, what's going on under the hood? It's definitely not just a simple back and forth. Let's move on and take a look at the process it follows, which is known as the agentic loop.
And this, right here, is the secret sauce. It all starts with your prompt, just a high-level goal in plain English. From there, it gathers context, then, and this is super important, it proposes a plan for you to review. Only after you say go does it execute. But the real kicker is step 5, verify. It checks its own work, and if it's not right, it loops back and tries again. It's this continuous feedback process, just like a real human developer would use.
But for that whole loop to work, the agent can't just be floating in a vacuum. It needs two really important things, which we'll cover right here. It needs a memory of your project's rules, and it needs a set of tools to actually interact with the world. Let's see how Claude Code pulls this off. First up, the memory. This is so cool. You can create a special file in your project called Claude.md. Seriously, think of this as the project's brain. You can teach it your specific coding conventions, your architecture, your test commands. You teach it once, and it remembers them forever. No more repeating yourself. And then you've got its tools. If the Claude.md file is its brain, these are its senses and its limbs. It can actually interact with your file system, it can run any command line tool you have, and it can even go out and search the web for documentation. This is what gives it the power to actually, get stuff done. Okay, so we've covered what Claude Code is and how it works. But that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. So what? Why does this actually matter? What does this mean for the future of how we build software? And believe me, it absolutely matters. According to this 2025 report from Jellyfish, look at that jump in adoption in just 1 year. That's a huge shift. And a big driver of that growth was the power of these new multi-file workflows that, frankly, only agentic tools like Claude Code can really handle. I love this quote because it perfectly captures the new paradigm. The role of the developer is shifting right before our eyes. Instead of typing out every single line of code, you become the conductor. You're the architect who sets the high-level direction and reviews the final product, while the AI handles all the nitty-gritty mechanics.
And speaking of being the conductor, you get to choose the right musician for whatever job is at hand. You can switch between different models depending on the task. Do you need lightning speed for a quick fix? Go with Haiku. Need a solid, balanced approach for your day-to-day work? Sonnet's your choice. Or do you need raw, brain-melting power for a really complex bug? That's when you bring in Opus.
So what does this all mean in practice? Well, this approach absolutely excels at the kinds of tasks that are traditionally tedious, super time-consuming, or just require a deep understanding of the entire code base. Things like massive refactors, hunting down those impossible bugs, or even writing all your tests for you, that's where this thing really, really shines. But, of course, with great power comes, well, you know the rest. It's not all perfect. This kind of tool introduces new challenges. Security issues like prompt injection are a real thing, and so is the risk of developers becoming over-reliant on the tool. It just means that skilled, human judgment and oversight are more crucial now than they have ever been.
And all of this leaves us with one final, very important thought to chew on. As these tools get more and more autonomous, they're not just changing our workflows, they're forcing us to ask a really fundamental question. If the AI is becoming the coder, then what is the human?
The very definition of what it means to be a software developer is starting to change right now.